Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WNSR. Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Friday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here for the next 2 hours. Darren and Justin here live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. DJ Damon Keene is alongside as well.
He may need a hug.
And whenever we bring him up today, we'll just bring it down a notch.
Yeah.
Because Damon's in a bad place. Orange Damon is in a
Been a long day.
Bad place right now. Like a lot of Bulls fans. But he came out in his warm-up suit. He looked like he was going to go join the layup line, but
maybe they could have used him today.
Well, honestly, I'm not sure he could have shot any worse.
He could have shot any worse than Dalton Connect has this afternoon.
So Vince Ferrara, who joins us every Monday on the program.
Yeah.
By the way, welcome to the show. Hope everybody's having a great day.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you are not, and we get it. And we're going to talk about this someday. We got a lot going on today. We're wide open most of the show because we're going to hear a little bit from Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Our man Vince Ferrara is going to join us from Bridgestone Arena in just a bit whenever this game mercifully comes to an end for Tennessee. And when I say mercifully, they have just been curb stomped today.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Couldn't hit water falling out of a boat. I could go on and on, but you get the drift.
Thank you. That's enough.
I think it's their worst shooting game of the season. I believe that's correct.
Well, the tally isn't done yet because there's another brick just now.
Yeah.
So
they have built several buildings downtown.
They have.
Today with the brick lane that they've been performing in Bridgestone Arena. But it has just been a clinic by Mississippi State. And unfortunately for Tennessee, there's a good and there's a bad to this. The good is NCAA or the season is not over for Tennessee.
Not at all.
Okay, they have this big picture thing called the NCAA tournament that they're going to be staring squarely in the face. The bad news is they've kissed the 1 seed goodbye.
Most likely.
Goodbye.
Yep.
See you later, 1 seed.
Yep.
Thanks for playing, and that's okay. I don't really know. I mean, I think honestly they should have. You strive to be a 1 seed. By the way, that would have been first in school history. They've never been a 1 seed.
Yes.
So that would have been cool. But it's going to drop them to a 2. I don't think it's going to drop them to a 3. But really the big concern that we'll get into with Vince, and I'm sure it'll be layered throughout the course of the show today, it's going to drum up all the
Yeah.
Rick Barnes.
It's March.
It's that time of year.
Yep.
It's
mid-March, and here we go.
Here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
And you're ending your year before the tournament. You're ending your regular season before the NCAA tournament, getting worked at home by Kentucky, because they did. Look, the score, they made it close at the end, but if you watch the game, Kentucky was in control, and I understand they shot lights out, but they shot lights out on Tennessee at their place. They did. And Tennessee was the lesser team on last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they get the double bye, and this is their first game since the Kentucky game. And Mississippi State has just flat out ran them out of Bridgestone Arena. It's never been a game.
Now,
and that's the concerning part. Like, the two layers are your last 2 impressions with everybody are, wow. I get it. You're playing 2 good teams, 2 tournament teams. By the way, Mississippi State's in. And if Texas A&M beats Kentucky tonight in the first game, they're in.
Mississippi State 8-10 in the conference.
Yeah, I think they're going to get.
And going to get in.
They're going to get in.
No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying.
Here's why, Justin.
Yeah.
Because what's their overall? Their overall record's much better.
20-12 right now.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Going on 21.
What do you get to stack up in the SEC?
Quality wins.
Quad 1 wins, which are quality wins.
Quality wins. I'm sorry. Using the football term. Apologies.
Yeah, quality wins, quad 1.
Quad 1, but yes, I understand. You're right.
It's the same folder.
Yes.
You get to stack up quality wins, where a lot of teams, like Indiana State, you know,
they can't do much better.
You can't, right. Once you get in Missouri Valley, no disrespect to Belmont and Murray State, and like, you can't stack up the quality win.
They got to win the thing.
Yeah. They had to do that out of conference.
Yeah. Or just win the conference outright in this tournament.
Or win the conference outright.
To get the automatic.
Which they didn't do.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So now they got to hope and pray.
Yeah.
Keep their fingers crossed. I do believe, I think Lenardi has them in. But, you know, Mississippi State gets to stack quality wins. They get to stack quad 1 wins.
Yeah.
And this is a monster one right here.
It is.
And by the way, they're not done. I mean, heck, if they play like this tomorrow, they're going to be playing on Sunday.
They are. And that's very possible. And another air ball there from Tennessee.
Man, they
shot that one from Brentwood. I mean, why? I mean, you could tell Tennessee just started pressing, and the worried looks on people's faces here. There's a lot of orange is going to walk away. It's going to be a lot of angry orange coming out of Tennessee, coming out of Bridgestone Arena in just a few moments. Tennessee was 14-4 in conference. Had all the rest in the world, but maybe we're learning that the rest isn't good for them. Maybe they needed to have played a couple of games leading into this, and I'm not sure it would have done any good anyway. The other thing is, they've struggled with Mississippi State, and this is something I was mentioning to Superfan Damon over here. You know, maybe it's just one of those things where they are bad matchup with Mississippi State. Maybe there's nothing really wrong with them per se, other than Mississippi State just has whatever the kryptonite is for them. Mississippi State has got it. You know, that could be it. Is Dalton Connect still in the game?
Yeah.
Why?
Barely.
Yeah.
Well, they might want him to try to make some baskets before the NCAA tournament.
Listen, I'm just saying,
it's not been a good day.
Well, you know how a good day or not a good day can become worse.
If
you
have
landing on somebody's foot during a rebound and during garbage time.
This is not a 40-point game for Dalton Connect.
I have to agree with Justin. This is the game. I think Mississippi State is just a bad matchup. I mean, they got 7-footers, 6'11" coming off the bench, and Tennessee just hitting.
Oh, so you think they're the only big team they're going to see in the NCAA tournament?
They just took advantage of them. Like I don't know.
They beat them earlier in the year. Tennessee's got 4 conference losses, and Mississippi State is one of them.
Well, two now.
Well, 2 now.
Yeah.
Mississippi State is 2. Well, there's Dalton Connect missing the dunk.
Missing a dunk.
For those who aren't watching.
Because, I mean, look, they have they're done.
Jeez.
There's 30 seconds, so.
Dalton Connect missing the breakaway dunk. Yeah, okay.
So, look.
All right.
We've talked about it we've grazed over it. We've tried not to harp on it because I don't really know what new there is to say, right?
There isn't.
Because everybody knows to this point, Rick Barnes has been doing this for decades upon decades upon decades. He's a really good regular season coach.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what happens to him and his teams when he gets to this time of year. I don't understand it.
But today he just couldn't shoot.
Yeah, I know, but they've done this before, Justin. I mean, you know,
I understand.
the early exits is not because they were lights out in tournaments. I mean, they get tight. I don't know why they get
31% is what they're going to finish with.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be a season low. Because when
31%.
When I heard it earlier, it was at 26%, and that definitely was a season low.
Yeah.
31 probably still going to be a season
19
low.
of 61 from the field today. 3-point, 8 of 33. That is 24%.
Ugh.
Dalton Connect finishes with 14 points, 4 of 15, even though I'm sure we need to renew the dunk here.
Read that.
Yeah. Mississippi State, by the way, winning the game. It's a final now. This is their first semifinal appearance since 2010.
It's 2024, folks.
It's 14 years.
This guy who's their coach.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
I don't know a lot about him.
No, I don't think anybody does. But he's done a really good job at Mississippi State.
You were like, yeah, don't feel bad. No one does. No one knows anything about
Most people don't even know his name. And he's done a really good job. This is what, year 2?
Year 2, yeah.
He's done a really good job, and I'm not sure if anybody knows him. I mean, Tennessee fans will know his name probably today.
If we could get Vescovy and Joan JJJ to score, it's like, where did they go?
Well, no, damn it. They didn't go anywhere. They can't shoot.
But they were shooting last year.
This is not like they've left. They're right there.
Just to set up Damon before the show, this is just kind of let people in behind the curtain. Damon started off with, it's that double bye. It's that damn double bye.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been sitting and watching, and
Damon's pastor would not be happy with some of the things he was saying in here.
Well, I didn't. I inserted the cuss word. Maybe that was.
No, you weren't in here earlier.
Cursing to myself. You
no,
might not have heard.
No, it wasn't to yourself. I heard you.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to hold it in.
Then it was those rims at Bridgestone Arena are tight. Man, those things are tight. Oh. And I was like, well, what else you got, Damon? Like, you can't blame it on the crowd because the crowd's completely all orange. So it was a home game for them.
Mississippi State made 55% of their shots on the tight rims today.
That's the same thing as Kentucky did, right?
Well, yes. And I said to Damon, I said, well, what happens is they play on one end, and then at halftime they go the other end. So that means Mississippi State played on both rims. No, they played on both rims.
Oh,
okay, throughout the course of this game, and they shot what, Justin?
55%. 26 of 47
on those tight rims.
We just wanted to rest for the NCAA. That's what it was.
Okay.
They were just like, let's just get over it and move on.
Okay.
So they spent too long at Tootsie's last night, is what you're saying.
No, I think they just came from
Broadway flu.
Yes, Broadway.
Broadway flu. There you go.
You ever heard that?
I have.
That's what a lot of the teams that come in to play the Preds, they get the Broadway flu.
They get the Broadway flu?
Yeah.
Well, everybody's got to do their part,
So we are off and running on this Friday, and this is going to be a huge panic day for Tennessee fans because today they're going to feel like a cat in a room full of rocking chairs, okay? Very, very, very nervous about the NCAA tournament. They're not going to get a 1 now. They're going to get a 2. And quite honestly, you should feel that way. My wife is a UT grad, and, she didn't have much to say today, kind of like Damon. And usually, she has a lot to say. Damon has a lot to say, but they're pretty quiet today.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the response from Tennessee fans. And I am going to be curious when we check in with Vince, because Vince is going to go work the locker room.
Yep.
He's going to get the vibe because usually what they do is they do the press conference and the locker room. Like it's open locker room.
Yeah, open locker
and the
room.
Press
Yeah.
I think Vince, and we've kind of chatted back and forth. I think he's going to go hit the locker room, and you know why. Right, you're gonna get
raw
more
feelings,
of a feel of what's
going
going
on. You're gonna get the
on.
Answers from Rick Barnes,
rather than the podium.
Yeah,
you go in that room and get a real feel. And I'm going to be very curious to hear what the vibe is and how quiet it was. What was the demeanor of the Tennessee locker room when we check in with him in the second hour?
They got a lot of pressure on them. There is Chris Jans, by the way. He's the Mississippi State head coach.
Honest. Tell me.
No.
Did you know his name?
No.
And that's what I'm getting at.
No.
Most people don't even know his name.
No.
And he's done a terrific job.
Yeah. He listen, if you put on a name tag, he can be the assistant manager.
It could have said Pete Vukovich, and you'd be like, hey, that Pete Vukovich has done a great job.
Hey.
He looked like a guy that drive a railroad train or something like that.
I mean,
mustache.
He could do anything. He could do anything. So, Chris Jans is
when
his
was
name,
the last time you was on a train, Damon?
Listen.
2 years ago in California.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was on a train to San Diego.
Down the coastline?
Yeah, it was a beautiful train.
I heard those are good train rides.
And they look like that.
They stop at the vineyards?
Yeah.
Stop at the vineyards.
Thanks, that's what Tennessee
Taste those grapes.
Tennessee stopped at Farmers Market today
and stayed.
They may have had a bad breakfast.
Something went on.
It wasn't okay.
Let's talk about the Nashville, Tennessee Titans. How about that?
The Nashville, Tennessee Titans?
Something else.
You just renamed the team?
He's a bit flustered today.
Can we just move on?
Just go ahead and just rename the team. The Nashville, Tennessee Titans.
To make it official, Mississippi State wins 73-56. So Mississippi State will wait the winner of the South Carolina-Auburn game, which is the next game, and that's going to be a fantastic game. South Carolina and Auburn's up next. Mississippi State will get the winner of that. And, again, that'll be a fantastic game. The games today are going to be awesome. Texas A&M, Kentucky will kick things off in the night session. And what is it, Florida, Alabama, the nightcap?
Yes, that is correct, sir.
So it's going to be a good day of basketball. Unfortunately, not a good day for Tennessee. And, look, I was wrong. Vince called me this morning after their morning show on the way here. And I told him, I said, Vinny, I think tomorrow's going to – unlike last year. Remember, Tennessee got ousted on Friday last year.
Yes.
They didn't make it to Saturday. Kentucky got ousted on Friday of last year. They didn't make it to Saturday. Neither team made it to Saturday last year, and I told him, I said, I think it's going to be – and Auburn didn't make it to Saturday last year. I said, I think it's going to be chalk this year. I really do. I said, I think it's going to be Tennessee versus Auburn and Kentucky versus Alabama. Well, there's been one game in today, and I'm already wrong. So I don't think it is going to be chalk. This probably isn't going to be the last upset.
Probably not. There's probably a few more coming. But I do think there is something, and we've heard this before, that Bridgestone Arena is not the best shooting arena when it comes to these basketball games. Even though, again, there's nothing wrong with Mississippi State.
Is it better than the Georgia Dome?
Well, I've never been to the Georgia Dome for a game, but I'm not sure. But
it's not. Yes. Is it better than the Superdome in New Orleans?
Well, Superdome was dark, wasn't it?
I can tell you because I've been there for the SEC tournament. It's not.
It looks dark on television.
Playing in football stadiums is a real challenge. And that's what teams face
too much air
in the Final Four. Right. You've got all this
open air
space.
Yeah. Feels weird.
It's very, very odd.
Yeah.
But remember, they used to do this the whole tournament, and now they've gone away from it, thank goodness, until the Final Four. Now they play in arenas like they should.
Like they should.
Because that's what they do all year.
True.
But Bridgestone, let me tell you, for all the places they've played in, Bridgestone is the way better option.
All right.
Than playing in the football stadiums.
Than playing in the football
stadium. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay. I understand.
Way better.
I understand.
All right, let's take a break. Damon wants us to shift gears, so for his sake and all the Tennessee fans out there, we'll shift gears.
Have mercy.
Calvin Ridley spoke to the media today, signed a big deal. We talked about it yesterday. It happened right after our show on Wednesday. $92 million. They get a number one receiver. And now they've got DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley. He spoke to the media earlier today. We'll hear a little bit from Calvin Ridley, and we'll do that next here on the McFarland Show, WNSR.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. It's starleasing.com to learn more.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
A friend of mine just bought a new house for the first time. A new house. I mean, my wife and I'd love to own a house. So I asked him how he did it. And he smiled and he said he went to the knowledge tree. He had this happy look on his face. So I told him to tell me more. And he said, John, the lack of knowledge will keep you poor. Then he handed me a brochure. It was from Knowledge Tree Mortgage. Now I understood. And after one phone call, I understood even more. Knowledge Tree Mortgage specializes in first-time homebuyers. Folks like me who get the runaround from banks, and he got us pre-qualified. Knowledge Tree Mortgage got us our mortgage. And tomorrow, my wife and I are going to become first-time homebuyers. Here's the number, 859-9599. 859-9599. Money doesn't grow on trees. Knowledge does. Knowledge Tree Mortgage, 859-9599. 859-9599.
In a single moment, everything can change. When a player's sudden cardiac event brought a national football game to a halt, it shone a spotlight on the importance of CPR readiness. Now, with youth sports in full swing, the American Heart Association is rallying parents and coaches to be ready in an emergency. To be ready, learn hands-only CPR. It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit heart.org/hands-only-CPR and become a lifesaver today.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
I suspect a lot of Titans fans, I'm not sure, but I suspect will want Kevin Byard back. This team has turned over a new leaf, a whole new look completely in this market. We're about to embark on something we have never seen in 25 years.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Rolling along on this Friday afternoon, Darren and Justin here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Don't forget, you can also always watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And you can interact with us on our YouTube page. Just type in WNSR Live. Eric in Columbia has been doing that. And I'm just going to read. Look, this is just me. I'm the messenger, okay?
Sure.
Eric says, Tennessee sucks. One and done, like I said. Rick Barnes can't win in March. It might be time to move on.
Jeez.
Tennessee can't win in March. And what will, then he shifts to the Titans. And then he says it might be time to move on from Rick Barnes. He's making fun of Damon. And he said, I know my Columbia brother is upset too. LOL. At least he did an LOL, Damon.
We're not brothers if he going to talk about me like that.
I had a feeling you'd push back.
Right, yeah.
Can we at least wait for them to lose
Right.
in the actual tournament?
Say, this is the SEC tournament.
Can we at least wait?
How you gonna fire the coach that won the championship of the conference? You gonna fire him because he lost one game?
Well,
okay.
Conference championship.
Here's the deal.
We won the whole season. Right?
It's gonna be. It is a look. I understand, and we're going down a rabbit hole that we're not there yet. Like,
no,
this comes out on Sunday, and then we're going to see the matchup, and they're going to play their first game on either Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're going to play on either Saturday or Sunday. And if on Monday's show, they're still not playing, then you know what Monday's show is going to be.
Oh.
And Damon probably won't be here.
And
I'm sure he will mysteriously get ill on Sunday.
Then all these kind of statements may be justified, or at least understandable after, they don't play, on that, if they lose next weekend, the weekend after, because they'll play Thursday or Friday, and then Saturday or Sunday, presumably. So you're right, Darren. If we get back here next Monday, and they're losers, then some of these things we're hearing from Eric and a few others on the text line and other places may be a little bit more understandable. But they just lost the SEC.
Yeah,
that's it.
And so what's going to happen is if they do, they're not still playing by Monday's show. Not this
Monday.
The following Monday. Damon is probably going to call Adam Johnson or Ted Johnson or both and say he's got the stomach bug.
He's got orange fever.
He's got explosive diarrhea.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa. No, that's way too much.
That doesn't get you out of work?
No, that's too much.
You don't claim anything like that because it might happen.
There's a lot of different things you can have other than that.
Could you just say headache or something?
No, there's no need to go there.
How many people have called off work for a headache?
Yeah, but diarrhea?
No.
Explosive.
Explosive. No, there's no need for that.
You can't just call off.
No,
the D word. You got to add explosive.
Let's not do that.
No? Too much?
Yeah, it's a little bit too heavy. Jeez. No. Can we get to the phones? Can I just go ahead and...
You know what's my favorite part of the show?
People up here.
Is when Justin gets really uncomfortable.
People are waiting.
That's my favorite show. It doesn't happen often, but when Justin gets uncomfortable... is what? Oh, don't boo me! Do not boo me, UT man. Do not.
He's in the mood today.
Let's go to Wayne. Wayne, what's up?
Hey, Wayne, save us, please.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Well, we're doing better than Damon.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of explosiveness over there.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I just want to say regarding in regards to the Tennessee Volunteers men's basketball team catastrophe this afternoon. It seems like I had a question. So it seems like I'm a huge Vols fan, but it seems like as though I know we have, the Connect story is great. We have I've loved Vescovy. I've loved the 5-year seniors and all these guys. I loved them for a long time, but is it possible that if we don't make the Sweet 16, even if we do make the Sweet 16, if we don't make it past that round, that Coach Barnes, Hall of Fame coach, could be out? I think he could be out. I'll listen. Thank you.
Okay, Wayne. Thank you. Look, it is. I understand the question, and just like Eric in Columbia on our YouTube page, I get it. But here's the thing. I've been around the block for a time or two. Okay, I'm kind of getting up there in age. Damon is up there in age. He's seasoned. Justin, I remember you when you were just 18 years old.
Yeah, but say I met you when I was a teenager.
I've watched you grow up.
Yeah, man.
But you're not 18 anymore.
No, I'm not.
So you're seasoned as well.
Yeah.
The point of this is the three of us and Wayne and Eric in Columbia and everybody else that we've had David on our text line. People have been watching Tennessee basketball for a long time. It hasn't been great. Okay. Nobody accuses Tennessee basketball of being a blue blood. Okay.
No.
They're not Kansas.
No.
They're not Kentucky.
They've never even been in a Final Four.
They're not North Carolina. They're not Duke.
No.
So I understand. I understand it. Like, I get it, because it's like you want to say, look, if this is what it's going to be every year, then what is the point of getting excited if everyone knows the outcome? What's the point? Like, I understand that. But here's the thing. You're relevant with Rick Barnes. You're talking about Tennessee basketball. Do you know how many times we haven't talked about Tennessee basketball?
Quite a bit.
You know why? Because they were awful. And that is not a season or two, not a couple hiccups. We don't need to go down that road of how the lean times, Tennessee basketball, they've had more lean than meat.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Okay. Bruce Pearl had his window until the barbecue.
Yeah.
Others have had their window. And there's been some good times. But overall, as a whole, they've been playing Tennessee basketball. Obviously, Bernard King, the Ernie Bernie show was great.
Ernie and Bernie.
Okay, that was great.
Allen Houston.
That was the 70s.
Yeah.
It's 2024.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't live off Ernie and Bernie. There's been a whole lot of basketball since Ernie and Bernie.
Yes, there has.
And look, they've
Thanks
had,
for bringing up my age, too. Appreciate
well, you remember Ernie and Bernie.
But saying in vivid color.
Thanks.
So you remember Ernie and Bernie like it was yesterday.
Well, first of all,
absolutely.
I didn't say it. You did.
So you brought it up.
But then I had to confirm it.
I just had to say I remember seeing him play. So thank
I know you did.
So to me, like he keeps you relevant. He sells tickets. Their games are sold out. Okay? People care. I get it. If, again, let's not go down we don't know how this is going to play out. But if, not Monday's show, the following Monday, they're out of the tournament, I understand those questions. I do. But no, I don't believe they're going to get rid of him because it's still good under Rick Barnes, even though it is extremely frustrating to be that good every year and to basically for people to be freaking out when you get to the NCAA tournament when you should be excited, but you're like, oh gosh, what's it going to be? 1 win, maybe 2 wins, and that's it. And if those are your expectations, that's got to be brutal as a fan to put that much investment into something and to know it's going to be short-lived.
Wayne, if you're still listening, my friend, listen up. Listen closely, my friend. They are not going to fire Rick Barnes at all. Even if he loses to the 15 seed, they're not going to fire him. And here's why. He's 70 years old, and last year he signed a contract extension. Rick Barnes is under contract to work for the University of Tennessee until April of 2028. He signed a contract extension last year, and he's getting paid $5.8 million a year and will get paid $6 million the last 2 years of his contract, which again runs through 2028. So he's on the books for another 4 years, and I don't know what the buyout would be, but I would imagine it wouldn't be cheap to send Rick Barnes home just because you're unhappy about another, an embarrassing loss here. So I don't think, can the University of Tennessee do it? Of course they can write that check. Of course they can do it. Will they do that? I don't think so. I just don't think they're going to write that check to Rick Barnes. It's just, aren't they still paying that? I think they're still paying a couple of other football coaches still, but so there's that. But I don't think they're going to write a check to Rick Barnes to stay at home because they're unhappy with the first round. So if he had 1 year left to go, then maybe 2 years left to go. But he's got 4 years to play, 25, 26, 27, and 28 on his contract.
The question is understandable, and the feelings are real. I get it. But it's not going to happen. It's just not. Things could be worse. If you're a Tennessee fan or if you follow Tennessee basketball, you don't even have to be a fan. If you have followed the SEC, you know that things can be worse because they've had a lot of worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they've had some really, really bad, irrelevant seasons where you don't care what happens because, one, they're not even in the tournament, or two, they're not that good. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Let's go to Eric, who's been waiting patiently. Eric, what's up?
Yeah, so y'all talking about Diarrhea Dwayne?
What?
Excuse me?
What?
Diarrhea Dwayne. Yeah, because that's what Cody Rhodes did on the promo about The Rock, because he runs off at the mouth.
Oh, was that a wrestling?
You've gone to
reference?
wrestling now.
Okay, you
and
got.
I wasn't ready.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I haven't been.
Okay.
I haven't been too.
You caught
hard.
us off guard with a wrestling reference.
Yeah, because that's what I thought y'all were talking about, because that actually happened recently on the episode of wrestling. So.
I will give you. So Eric can understand this, okay? Because Eric has been, and when the biography is done one day about Nashville Sports Talk Radio, people like Eric and Kenny the Mailman, and I don't want to start listing all because I'll leave somebody out. But those cats are in that biography, okay? Because they've been listening to Sports Talk Radio and a part of Sports Talk Radio in Nashville for decades upon decades upon decades. If you remember, Eric, it was when we were in the afternoon drive, and George one day, I don't even remember how we went down that rabbit hole, but he was talking about this time of year, right? It's a great time of year. And that first day of the NCAA tournament, like, nobody wants to work on Thursday. It's games from 11 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. You just want to watch basketball. Yeah. So we started coming up with what's a good excuse for work. And some guy called in, and he was very adamant, and it was really more about the way he presented it that made it funny. Yes, and he said the word explosive diarrhea, but he said, I'm going to call into work tomorrow and tell my boss I have explosive diarrhea. And we all lost it, and I've never forgotten that phone call, and that was probably 16 years ago.
Wow.
Hey guys, just say how long I've been calling in. I'm 60 years old, and I've been calling in Sports Talk Radio since I've been in high school.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
It's real, Eric. It's real. Yeah.
That's
impressive.
The early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. So when it first started up in Nashville. But guys, I'm going to get to college basketball in a minute. But one quick thing about football. Guys, were you surprised that Aaron Donald decided to call it quits today?
No.
I am.
I was.
Why
not.
are you not surprised?
Because he's hinted at doing this for a little while. So when people hint at doing things, I'm not surprised when they actually
That means
do
they're
them.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because allegedly there was reports that he was going to do it right after they won the Super Bowl. He did, and he came back and played 2 more years.
Yes.
But
the reason I'm
played 10 years. Yeah.
The reason I'm surprised, Eric, is what Justin said is true, and the three of us can agree on that. But if the Rams went 3-14 again, after the Super Bowl year they had a down year. If they were crap again last year, I could see he's gonna be like, man, I'm just not gonna keep playing on losing teams. Like, we got our ring, I've made my money. Like, I'm not gonna come back for a team that's gonna win 3 and 4 and 5 games a year. But they came back and they're good. They're getting good again, right? Like the Rams are right there.
Oh yeah, they're close.
Yeah. And this was a team that did not have a first-round draft pick.
Right.
And they got some like Puka Nacua and some other players in later rounds. So, which tells you how great of an organization y'all drafted and how great of a coach Sean McVay is. And I'm not saying they're going to be in the Super Bowl this year, guys, but I definitely think they've got a shot to contend for the division. I still would pick the 49ers, but it looks like the Rams are definitely making a quick trajectory back towards the playoffs. Guys, a couple things about college basketball. One other thing, you guys may have heard this. I saw on the game today because I didn't watch the whole game. I was kind of flipping around. They made the statement that no team that's ever lost its first round conference tournament game has ever won the tournament, the NCAA tournament, which now this year, of course, it's Tennessee, Duke, Creighton. They were talking about teams like that. And no team that ever lost its first game in the conference tournament has ever won it all. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And
keep that in mind when you're filling out your brackets.
Yeah. And if they are number 2, it means they won't play out west. They'll probably play in the east. But some say they could be number 2, like behind Houston in the south, or potentially if UConn or Purdue in the Midwest. That's maybe the only bad thing. And if Kentucky guys wins the conference tournament, this is a team that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, some were saying was a 5 or 6 seed. I believe if they win the conference tournament, they'll probably be a number 3 seed because they've jumped up now to where they're like 9th in the country. And if they lose that worst, they'll probably be a number 4 seed, guys. And lastly, this is concerning Vanderbilt. I've heard some interesting things about who they're going to bring in as coach and everything. Is hopefully they'll get a good hire that's going to be able to help with the program. But one of the things making it tougher now, guys, is the NIL and the transfer portal. And one of the things somebody mentioned that I think is a valid point, who's going to want to transfer to Vanderbilt when it's one of the toughest academic schools in the country? Because some would say the only way it would benefit them is they relax the standards. But I don't think they're unfortunately going to do that. So that's what's going to make it a lot harder, is trying to get people with the NIL and transfer portal to come into a school that has such the rigorous academic standards they have. Guys, y'all take care and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
Eric.
Well, obviously we know it's a tough job. But look, with that being said, as I've said many times on this show, there's no reason whatsoever that Vanderbilt shouldn't go to the NCAA tournament 2 times out of every 5 years. I don't think that's too much to ask. 2 out of every 5 years in the NCAA tournament, and it could be more than that. But I'm saying when we were talking about Jerry Stackhouse's 0 for 5, when we knew, like, it doesn't matter what happens the rest of the way. Like, that's going to be 5 years in a row. By the way, Vanderbilt has now missed the tournament 7 years in a row.
2017.
Going back to Drew.
Yeah.
Bryce Drew. Like, that's inexcusable. I don't care what the challenge is. Like, that should never happen at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So we know it's a tough job, but they got to find somebody to get in there and who's going to have to, we laid it out yesterday.
Yeah.
Roll up their sleeves and do a whole lot of building things back up, including building back up the fan base.
The fan base, as well as getting some talented players. And again, the things that Eric are laying out is why I'm an advocate for an academic hire, someone from one of the higher academic schools. Again, someone from Wake Forest or from Duke or from Stanford or from Notre Dame, someone who is used to dealing with Ivy League-esque, or at least athletes who have to have certain grade levels in order to get in school.
The guy at Princeton's been brought up.
If you bring in someone from an average of just a Big Ten school, if you bring in somebody from Ohio State, you bring in somebody from Michigan, you bring in somebody, not to say those are easy schools or whatever, but if you bring in somebody from one of these schools, you can't recruit the same players. They can't do the same things they're used to doing. So you're putting them at a disadvantage as soon as they come in the door.
Clay, we'll get to you on the other side. We need to step away, take a quick break. More of the McFarland Show here on this Friday, WNSR.
And now, the fine folks at FMR Construction Services are on the air, proudly saluting the brave men and women of our U.S. military, both past and present. Thank you. This message is courtesy of FMR Construction Services, your certified pros. For commercial and residential roofing, general contracting, and painting needs, call FMR Construction Services today at 615-788-7662. 615-788-7662.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times national survey of pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-617-0239. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-617-0239. That's 800-617-0239. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's JB and the General.
You're 6'9" for Joe Alton and ran a good 40. 5:04, I believe was.
I think I saw a little bit of his work. It looked like he was moving around pretty well.
Looked good. I will say this though: Chargers at 5, he's going to play right tackle for them. So if he makes it past then, maybe you can get him to the Titans at 7. But apparently he's not making it past number 5.
Really?
So it is unfortunate.
Weekdays 9 to 11, live on WNSR.
5-state forecast. Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast for this afternoon. We'll have cloud showers and in spots of thunderstorm, the high around 70. Stray shower thunderstorm this evening, partial clearing overnight, low 46. Saturday's going to be sunny, high 68. Partly sunny Sunday. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio WNSR.
Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Been a spirited show so far. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. We are the McFarlands. Darren and Justin here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Sad Damon is alongside in his orange. David on our text line texts us and says, Barnes has no ability to coach from the bench. Doesn't handle in-game adjustments. Time to go. I know. I'm just reading his text.
Until
I'm just reading the text. I'm the messenger.
At the NCAA tournament. This is not the NCAA tournament.
These feelings are raw. These emotions are raw. And it's coming off a beatdown. If you have not heard, Tennessee got walloped today in the first game at Bridgestone Arena in the SEC tournament. Mississippi State took them out to the woodshed and just gave them a good whooping. And Tennessee never recovered. They couldn't shoot worth a lick.
No.
We'll try to check in with Vince, who was there, or who is there, and we'll find out a little bit later in the show what the mood was like in the locker room. Let's go back to the phones. Clay has also been waiting patiently. And by the way, when there's that documentary that's done one day, Clay will also be in it. Clay, what's up?
The documentary?
Yeah, there'll be a
on Nashville Sports
Talk Radio documentary one day. Someone's going to do it.
It won't be a negative thing, will it?
No, no. You're a part of the sports talk fabric.
It'll be historical.
Clay, I'm trying to give you a compliment, and Clay's
anyway,
Clay's on the lookout. Clay's checking his back.
Clay, what did you do, Clay?
Clay's like, why is that helicopter up in the air?
Man, who's got my six?
I like to lead in, kind of digging it, Justin. But I'm gonna lead into you, Darren. I called maybe, I retired from 560 for a while, and I've come back, and I did talk to Justin maybe, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago.
You did.
Sure
I think Greg Pogue was filling in for me that day.
Yes, and Greg Pogue was actually there.
Yes.
And so I talked to Justin and Greg. But anyway, I'm rambling. I enjoyed the Tennessee game. You guys know that as a Vanderbilt fan. But I've got something I want to say about Stack, and then also, this coaching search and how important it is. And then I really want to say something quickly about our point guard, Ezra Manjon. But anyway, on Stack, his press conference the other night, you kind of just knew because of how reflective he was, that, but,
I said that yesterday, Clay, on the show. I did. I tweeted about it.
And, why didn't he come in here and do this? I thought about this today, guys. You've got the number one scorer in the program's history and the number 3 scorer in the program's history that are not from here that live in this city. Are you going to tell me if a coach reaches out to them for help in the NIL or to get to know them or whatever? I mean, they're going to help the guy. They want to know the guy. The former players care about this program like I do. I mean, I have former players that are friends that, have been upset all year. And that's what's so critical about this coaching hire. I mean, if Candace doesn't get this one right, I mean, God help us. And I think it's really important, though, with today's portal, that's just the forum we're in. I think it's really important, let's say, for a Ben Allen Lubin, who developed into a legitimate big man down the stretch, a double-double machine. It's important for him to hold off to at least give the coach to say, hey, here's what we're going to do. Why don't you stick around? I think that's very important. But as far as Ezra's concerned, and this was what was really more sad for me about, really Wednesday night after the game, I was very sad because he only came here for 2 years, guys. People probably won't remember him this way, but in my book, He's Vandy's best point guard ever.
Oh, I think people remember him. I don't know about I don't know if they'll think of him that way, but people will definitely remember him. Like, he was very impactful for 2 years and very likable.
Look at the game he played the other night.
Yep.
And this is a kid that's got, nothing to play for as the postseason. That's what really makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
This kid was 31 and 37 at Vandy in 2 years and never even got to play in the NIT.
Yeah.
But the kid is a flat baller, and maybe this is a stretch because of his size, but if y'all saw that spin move the other night, I mean, that's NBA stuff, guys. And if this kid ever makes it in the NBA, I'll be there to watch him at some point because I love me some Ezra Manjon. And it was even though it's from afar, I really enjoyed watching this kid play for 2 years. He's a class act kid, like most Vandy kids are. But that's just what really, hit home for me, especially in the press conference when they asked him about his emotions playing his last game. And, he said, I just went out and played like it was my last game. And, this kid probably sprained his ankle 6 or 7 times. When we beat A&M, he comes back in the game, hits the game winner. I mean, you have DOG, dog, and you have DAWG. Ezra Manjon is DAWG. He's a flat dog. Wouldn't y'all agree?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
No one's going to disagree with that.
Absolutely.
Not somebody watching.
Quickly, and then I'll get off.
Mm-hmm.
Darren, so where would you head? I'm putting you in the AD's chair. Where would you head?
Oh,
who would you hire? Who do you
Such
think
a loaded question. All right, Clay, I'm going to need the break, and I'll come back and we'll talk about it, okay? Thanks for the call.
Thank you, Clay.
Don't be a stranger. All right, we will do that. We'll answer that on the other side and close out hour number 1 of the McFarland Show next year on WNSR.
Fun is in full bloom, Tennessee, and the Multiplier Instant Games are buzzing in. These colorful tickets offer chances to multiply your wins 10, 20, 50, and even 100 times. It's a beautiful day for bigger and bigger prizes, and they're ripe for the picking right now. Find the Multiplier Instant Games today at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer, only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City. Located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack or the world famous Bar Lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the Bar Lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
You enjoy the thrill of gambling, but what happens when it becomes a problem? Whether you want to cut back or quit gambling altogether, the Gambling Clinic has been helping people change their gambling for over 2 decades. We're here to help, not to judge. The Gambling Clinic is a Tennessee-based clinic offering in-person and telehealth support to help people win back their life. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Memphis. Get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they face off against the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow on Wrestling Night. Arrive early. First 5,000 will receive a Grizzlies luchador mask. Get hyped. Get ready for an epic matchup and secure your tickets today by visiting Grizzlies.com. Grizz Nation, take your fandom to the next level by downloading the all-new official Memphis Grizzlies mobile app to buy or access your tickets and personalize your experience.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
You know, to answer Clay's question, Juwan Howard was let go today at Michigan. The former NBA superstar players so far have not translated. It's not been a good 24 or 48 hour window, because we were actually even talking about it during the break in studio, the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio, that you could even say Penny Hardaway at Memphis really is. I admitted to you guys, I've been shocked he's had virtually no impact at all.
I thought that would be...
Or no success, I guess. He's had impact. He's had no success at all.
No.
No real success.
I thought that would be a great hire by them. I thought that would go very well, and he just hasn't.
But Jerry Stackhouse is out here. Juwan Howard is out at Michigan today. And, I'm not saying Penny Hardaway is going to get shown the door, because I don't think he is, but I'm just saying to this point, he's had no success, no real success. So the question is, what is Vanderbilt going to do? Now, there's a lot of names out there. We had Chris Lee on yesterday, had a really good conversation with him.
He dropped like 7 names.
Yeah, and he threw out a bunch of names. And a lot of people are going to bring up Chris Mack. His daughter plays volleyball at Vanderbilt. So obviously, she's here in town. She goes to the school. Chris Mack has got big school experience, right? He's been a coach on big stages in Power 5 conferences. I don't know if Chris Mack is the answer or not. Again, it was yesterday. The biggest thing is you can't treat the Vanderbilt question or opening, any Vanderbilt questions like Clay, you can't treat it like every school.
Yeah.
Like, you have to treat it differently. And some of this stuff we just don't know behind the scenes. Like, what is Vanderbilt willing to do? How much are they willing to help the coach with NIL and the transfer portal and recruits and this and that? All the things that it takes today to run a successful program. We don't know, because it's a private school. We don't we don't find a lot of stuff out.
No.
What are they willing to do to help the next fill in the blank name succeed in a very difficult conference that's adding Oklahoma and Texas next year?
One thing I will say about Chris Mack very quickly, I see on his resume here that he spent 3 years at Wake Forest as an assistant. To me, that's a plus, because again, that's an academic school. That means you've got experience recruiting to an academic-based school. So for me, that's what I'm all about. Please don't bring in somebody into this situation who has no experience about what they're getting into. Please bring somebody in who understands how to recruit to a school that doesn't take in everybody. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's a loaded question, and I didn't have enough time to give it to. We'll address it again in the second hour. More of the McFarland Show next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
This is a special report from ABC News. Georgia election interference case. I'm Michelle Franzen. Nathan Wade, the prosecutor and ex-boyfriend of Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, has submitted his letter of resignation in the Georgia racketeering case involving Donald Trump and co-defendants. It comes hours after Judge Scott McAfee ruled either Willis or Wade needed to step down after determining Willis left a perception of a possible conflict of interest. In the letter, Wade writes he's resigning in the interest of democracy and so the case can move forward quickly. ABC's Olivia Rubin is in Atlanta.
This is the route that is going to let them move forward with the prosecution of Donald Trump as quick as possible. You know, possibility of an appeal aside, efforts to appeal set aside, this means that the case will move forward, essentially effective immediately.
Trump's attorneys can still appeal, Willis commending Wade for his professionalism in a letter after she received his resignation. This is ABC News.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Bob's Steak and Chop House, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, is a nationally renowned steakhouse specializing in the finest corn-fed Midwestern prime beef. The menu formula is simple: incredible meat, gigantic shrimp, fabulous salads, and decadent desserts. Start your experience at Bob's with the fried calamari or fresh scallops seared in Texas burnt honey. All the beef at Bob's Steak and Chop House are USDA prime cuts. From the traditional filet of tenderloin and ribeye to the adventurous Kansas City bone-in strip. They even have 2 different surf and turf options. And if you're looking for the other white meat, Bob's Steak and Chop House serves a dry-aged pork tomahawk with homemade applesauce. Fresh seafood is on the menu, from salmon to scampi, and even fresh lobster tail. For reservations, give them a call or log on to the Omni Nashville Hotel website. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour of the McFarland Show here on this Friday afternoon. Darren and Justin here with you. We are live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Sitter studio. Sad Damon is alongside, decked out in his orange. Tennessee falls 73-56 in the first game today at the SEC tournament at Bridgestone Arena. Mississippi State winners by 17 in the second game right now. It is Auburn 22 and South Carolina 14. There's also news on the Titans front. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network has put out there a couple of news and notes to pass along.
Very quickly, 2 things before we get to Vince. Vince, stand by. The Titans have released offensive tackle Andre Dillard, who they signed to a big contract last year. Andre Dillard apparently carried a cap hit, according to Ian Rappaport, of $10.7 million that the Titans will have to take a hit on. So again, the Titans have released offensive tackle Andre Dillard, who carried a $10.7 million cap hit. It's fueling speculation yet again that number 7 is going to be an offensive tackle almost no matter what. It feels like offensive tackle or bust for the Titans at this point at number 7. The other thing that Ian Rappaport is reporting is that the former Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel has found a new job, but it won't be on the sidelines. Apparently, Mike Vrabel is serving as a consultant for the Cleveland Browns. According to Rappaport, he's been hired by Kevin Stefanski and has been working with the team at the Combine in Indianapolis, helping to scout for players up there. So Mike Vrabel serving as a consultant for the Cleveland Browns.
All right, let's head over to Bridgestone Arena. Our man Vince Ferrara did his morning show on 99.1 The Sports Animal with John Wilkerson, and then headed straight to Nashville to get to that. And I'm sure he's very, very excited that he raced to Nashville through thunderstorms to get to that. Vince, look, for all the things we know and have said over the years, I don't know how anybody could have thought that they were just going to get flat out curb stomped in the first game today like they did. They didn't make it to Saturday last year in the SEC tournament, and now they're not going to make it to Saturday again as the 1 seed this year at Bridgestone Arena. How do you explain? I'm assuming 31% shooting is their lowest output this season. Is that fair to say?
Well, they've had a couple sinkers, so I'll have to double check that. I'm not at my laptop right now, and honestly, I went straight into locker room interviews, so I haven't even seen a final box score, and they don't have them printed out. I used to have like a table with like all of them. You can get them from any game, but I have not seen that to this point. But it is one of their lowest of the year. There's no doubt about that. And great to be on with you guys, double dipping. And also one thing on Damon. When Damon got me on the line, he was like, "Make me feel better." I'm like, "Dude, you dialed the wrong number." I can't help you.
Thanks, Vince. I appreciate that.
Love don't live here, okay?
I gotta call what it is. It's been an unbelievable year. I've had a lot of compliments for them, and when things go great, there's flowery things to talk and sunshiny things to talk about. That was not the case today, not for the Big Orange. So it was a terrible shooting performance by Tennessee, and then they kind of hit a few shots in the second half to get it. I think they got as close as 12 at one point.
They did,
and then Connect missed a makeable three for him that was fairly open. And then he missed that. Mississippi State turns around, gets a three, then a steal and a basket, and then just like that, it exploded back. So that was at their little window. But they look tight. And talking to some of the players in the locker room, Jonas Adu said that he thought they were just going to come in and win the game. And then other guys were pointing to execution. Other guys talked about being off script. Yes, the offense, was bad in terms of the shooting percentages, but Mississippi State made it really tough on them. They were grinding everything. But part of this deal was the defense. Mississippi State shot in the 60s from the field for a good part of the game, and they didn't even shoot a lot of threes. So they were able to get in the rim. I think they outscored Tennessee by like 30 in the paint, and they didn't jack up a bunch of threes.
No, they only shot 13. They only attempted 13 threes. That's it. And Tennessee attempted 33.
Yeah, a little bit of that
is when you're behind.
That was really,
sure.
Yeah, that was really their only path is to just go berserk from three.
They were shooting some of those from Cookville, Vince. I mean, some of those were from way back.
Hey, I mean that's like half of Connect's range at times. He's got Knoxville range, at times, but it wasn't working out today. So that got a little skewed, but Mississippi State was able to break down Tennessee's defense, and a number of guys that I talked to in the locker room were pointed to that. Hey, we were supposed to be packing in the paint on them. Mississippi State, just like the first time, that was a scouting report against them. You don't want to. They're not going to make a ton of threes. And so what happened in that game is Mississippi State made 4 threes in the first half, and so Tennessee started coming out on their three-point shooters, and Mississippi State just zoomed by them, broke down the defense, and then it really compounded. And it was a domino effect. In this game, Tennessee didn't prevent the drive. So Mississippi State's bigs were so good and physical on sealing drives and then getting baskets. And Mississippi State has a bunch of tough shot makers. And that was one of the things that was not a good look for Tennessee is they have one tough shot maker on the regular, and Ziegler from time to time. But man, a lot of the other players rely on the motion offense or Connect creating to get them a look, as opposed to guys that can multiple guys that can create, not just three. And that was evident too. So it was beyond just the shooting percentage. It was on both ends.
Dalton Connect was 4 of 17 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3-point land. Josiah James was 0 for threes, 0 for 3 with threes, 0 for 5 on field goals. You said that they were tight. Vince, that's not the first time when we get to March we've seen a tight Rick Barnes team. You know, over the years, I have brought this up to you. Why on earth does this keep happening? Why? How do you explain that? Then do something different, Rick. You're a Hall of Fame coach. You've been doing this for decades. Then maybe a new approach. Maybe get suspended for the tournament for the first 2 games or something. Let an assistant do it. I'm just saying, I'm trying to be light about it, but I'm also trying to be serious about it. Look, this is not the first time we've seen a Tennessee team come out and look flat as hell and tight as can be when it comes to tournament time.
Right. And look, they've had SEC tournament success before, so the NCAA tournament, that's really the case. So that's where you got to give them at least that little bit of rope with this new team. If it looks any different in that tournament versus this, now to your point, that's not encouraging that it will look any different, because that's how they've looked in the NCAA tournament. Look, it's one thing to lose in your conference tournament. I was digging. I didn't finish the research because the game ended, but I was looking through the last 10 national champions, and almost all of them lost in the semifinals of their conference tournament and did not get blown out, like lost by 6, 8, 10 points. But they got to there, and a bunch of them were 1 seeds, but they got to the semifinals, right? And none of them, I haven't looked through all of them, but most of them did not get blown out. That's where it's alarming for them. And Tobe Awaka, he was talking about, hey, we can't play, anxious. Our season will be on the line. And my response was, well, if there's even more on the line and there's more pressure, how do you avoid playing anxious?
Right.
Or not play? Yeah. How do you avoid playing anxious?
Why are we never talking about a Tennessee team that's loose and free? Why are they always tight? To me, there's only one answer. It's not the same kids. There's one constant. It's Rick Barnes. It's Rick Barnes.
He's tough on them. I watched him. I watched him practice. He is tough on them. And guys that play for him appreciate him. And Dalton Connect has been open to the tough coaching. And he's obviously prospered in it. But when you're judged is the postseason. So getting much better in the regular season is not the ultimate goal for this team. So yeah, that there very well could be something there in them just not playing loose and free. I don't know if it's the coaching style. I don't know if it's the offense, to where, look, it's still within what they do, their concepts, their principles, their motion offense. It's just at times Dalton Connect gets to kind of run a play or isolation and go against it, but everybody else still is kind of within the framework of the offense. Rick Barnes was asked the other day by one of the sports anchors in the market, hey, how do you think your guys do off script? And Rick Barnes is like, well, we really don't go off script that much. And that's what the NCAA tournament is. There's a whole lot of that. Look at the Kentucky game. Look how successful Kentucky was in broken plays in that game in Knoxville. They were phenomenal in those situations where it's chaotic. And I don't know if they don't feel the freedom to do that, or if it's the pressure of disappointing the coach because they don't want to get yanked, or maybe they hold him in such high regard that they feel bad making mistakes, or maybe it's something else. I don't know, but yeah, that is, if they play like that again, then there's even more reason to kind of wonder about that.
Vince, today, Tennessee from the three-point line, we talked about it briefly, but I just want to make this comparison. Tennessee from the three-point line today, 8 of 33. That is 24% from the three-point line today. When they played Mississippi State earlier in the year, Tennessee shot 8 of 29 at 27% from three-point line, from the three-point line. Yeah. Could it be that Mississippi State is just a bad matchup for them? That Mississippi State presents problems that most other teams don't, and sometimes that happens where you run into a team that's got your kryptonite, that's got the secret sauce, that's got the code to beat you, and it's not even that you're that bad, but they're that good against you for whatever the reason.
It's a fair point, great question, and what's even more of a alarming difference is I don't have it in front of me. I'm away from my notes. I tweeted it earlier, but the first halves, like, they were even worse. Like, Tennessee, I think, scored 50 points in the second half in the first meeting. So those numbers are skewed by an explosive second half. The problem is that Mississippi State still shot okay in that first game, and they still shot pretty well in the second half of this game too. And Tennessee was making three. So the second halves were lopsided because they were down double digits and they were coming back. It's the first halves that were, I think it was like 16 of 61 from the floor in the two first half combined, like 4 of 31 from three in the two first halves.
Tennessee was down 13 at the at halftime at the first game, but they scored 22 points. And you're right, they put up a 50 spot in the second half of that first game.
Yeah, and so yes, what Mississippi State did in that game is something that South Carolina also did, that Texas A&M also did. Until Kentucky was a little bit different, but they were physical. They bullied the bully, and Tennessee answered that in the second meeting, right, against both of those two teams. So they were able to have an answer, and they won comfortably at South Carolina. They blew out Texas A&M at home. So they were able to respond to that. For whatever reason, they weren't able to respond to that tough matchup for Mississippi State. A couple of guys talked about the energy. They didn't have the energy and the physicality early in the ball game, and they didn't really have answers as to why that is. So that goes beyond, being tight. Like, there's no reason for you to not be energy, to have fun. And look, they presented themselves like they were having fun. There's videos on social media of them coming out. One of the guys was holding a big boom box, and other guys were doing the holding their hand up to their ear like they were listening to the boom box, and they were bouncing around. They looked loose in the pregame. For whatever reason, Mississippi State was able to tighten them up, and they didn't have enough of an answer. It's too big of a hole for them. So, yeah, but here's another problem that could be another matchup thing, is Jonas Aidoo got pushed around, and he has by some of the more physical and bigger bigs in this league, and guys that he's gone up against. He's terrific as a weak side shot blocker, but when it's a one-on-one defense and teams isolate and go after him, the bigger guys can kind of back him down on the low block and then score over him. And so I think you saw Mississippi State do some of that too. So guess what? You're going to see some big, physical, muscular guys at the NCAA tournament, and I think now it's on tape. Hey, this is what you do to Tennessee. So, it wasn't a great look for them unless they have answers.
All right, Vince, let's talk about shutting out the noise, because the noise is going to get loud. Okay, the noise is going to follow them from 501 Broadway all the way back to Rocky Top, and it's going to continue to be loud when they play the 15 seed coming up here. Whenever the game is on Thursday or Friday, presumably. So how does Rick Barnes circle the wagons and shut out the noise, not just against the team, but against himself? Everybody is going to be, our text board, and I can't even imagine what it's like in Knoxville. We're here in Nashville, and the people are at the gate, and they've got the torches and the pitchforks sharpened and bright for Rick Barnes. So I know it's going to be magnified up there. How do they shut out the noise and come ready to play, and can they do it?
Well, if that's the case, that might even be the best thing for them, like an us against the world type of thing.
Well, if that's what they wanted, they got it, okay?
Right.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants to doubt us. We're good. If anything, that's better than them carrying the burden of expectations. So, if I'm them, if I'm Rick Barnes and I'm that coaching staff, I'm passing out flyers. I'm putting together packets of what everybody is saying about them and say, this is what you want. I asked Tobe Awaka, what did Rick Barnes tell you guys at halftime? He's like, well, the next 20 minutes are going to tell us what kind of team you are. You got to fight or not? Or else this is the way the season is going to end. They fought back, but they still gave up points back, so it didn't change the result, but they did have some fight. But yeah, it will be. They will be, depending, I guess, who the 15 is, or maybe people won't care. They're going to be one of those, really enticing 2-seed upset to a 15 in people's bracket because they're going to look at this game. So, we've already seen it. We're going to continue to see that. What this did is it allowed those that have doubted Rick Barnes and not enjoyed this season to rise up and have a loud voice again. And Tennessee's the one that's got to show them they're wrong and it's something different. So I wasn't Rick Barnes as you guys were bringing me in. He was finishing up this post game, so I didn't get a chance to hear all of it. I'll go back and listen to it later. But one thing I did catch him say is, hey, nothing happened today that we can't fix. He still apparently believes in his guys. They still have a great team. When we've seen them play well, they're as good as anyone that can beat anyone.
But that's the
problem
regular
is
season.
we don't.
Yeah,
right.
That's
we
loose
don't,
and free. Yeah. That's no one's going to disagree with that. But do they have the talent? Well, we've been talking about it all year, of course. But they don't have the talent if they're going to show up tight. If they're going to show up tight, it doesn't matter. They're going to lose. Doesn't matter how talented they are, man. He has got to change the narrative. And the narrative is there because of him. And we don't know why this continues to happen, but it's real. And look, if we're to Justin's point, I know you're at Bridgestone Arena, you're at the SEC tournament, you've been working the locker room, but we're getting flooded on our text line, on our YouTube page, we're getting calls, and there are people like, like maybe it's just time to go, and I get it. That's what I've been saying. It's raw, right? It's right after it. It's emotional.
No, Vince.
But here's the deal, Vince. There's only one way to change that. It can't, if you keep doing, and I know they're not going to. That's what we're trying to tell people. Like, they're not going to do anything. But if Rick Barnes wants to, it's truly up to him. It's not about the talent. It's not about the scheme. It's not about anything. Whatever is in his make that he's been doing, I'm just telling you, we've had this talk way too many times, and it's come. There's one constant in all this. It's Rick Barnes. And whatever his energy is, it needs to change. Because it's clear it affects his teams come tournament time. There's no reason why a team as talented as we've seen all year long, which is good enough to make a deep, deep run, it's good enough to go where they've never gone before in Tennessee basketball history. But if they're going to be tight and they're going to be nervous and this and that, it doesn't matter. They're going to get upset in the tournament. And he's got to figure out a way to change that. Whatever he's been doing for decades, look, as great of a coach as he is, it doesn't work this time of year.
Well, it will depend on how hard he takes this game. If he takes this game as, hey, we got to change something. I gotta put my arm around guys a little bit more, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, take them bowling on Monday. You know what I mean? Like, do something different. Don't run them. Don't do gassers all week leading up to the tournament because you're mad, right? Like, don't do that. That's probably what he's done in the past, but that is not. He needs a different approach. Go do a movie night. Do something different. Like you said, go around just hugging kids. I don't know, but I have a feeling he doesn't do that, and he needs to do the opposite of what he's always done, in my opinion.
Yeah, if it's in his belief, it's lack of execution and that kind of thing. Like, we got the right scheme, we got the right players, it's lack of execution. The guys just have to do it. Then they probably will have a disappointing run in the tournament. But I'll just say this: that last chapter is not written.
Not yet.
That narrative is the NCAA tournament, and then we're grouping in this SEC tournament where they have had some success. If it's the same in the NCAA tournament, or if they have a short stint there, then yes, you can continue that. He did change in bringing in an offensive player, and he's allowed his offense to evolve and let a guy take over and impact the games when no one thought that he would do that. They also were getting out and running, which they hadn't done before. They developed a post player, so players still getting better, but there has to still be some sort of carryover of what you're improving at into the postseason, and that is on him to try to get this group. It's a veteran group, so that's where it's harder to really understand, and maybe those guys are feeling the pressure of, hey, this is the last ride. But ever since they won the regular season championship outright, they're 0 for 2. So, where's their confidence level now? After you accomplished all this and had a great regular season, where's their confidence level going into next week? Are you starting to doubt yourself on top of maybe feeling tense? Are they partly adding or piling on to any anxiety, which is a term that Toby Awaka used, that they might be feeling? So, but there is still that final chapter of this season to be written, and we'll see how the matchups come up. But to Justin's question earlier, it may depend on what kind of matchup that they get in the tournament on just how far they can go.
Yeah, South Carolina down 12 to Auburn right now. First half with about 4 minutes to go. So far, it's been all Auburn. So we'll see how that one plays out. Vinny, really appreciate
Thank you, sir.
Your insights over there at Bridgestone Arena, and we shall see. We did not expect the show to be like this today. We expected it to be a Tennessee victory, and we'd be talking about Calvin Ridley. We've got, Calvin Ridley talked to the media today, and right here in Nashville, Titans' new number one receiver. We haven't even gotten to it yet. That's what this has done.
We're 90 minutes in.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten to it.
That's what it's done to today's show, because honestly, I didn't expect that to happen.
They're Vols fans in the mid-state?
No, isn't that crazy?
There are a few.
Are they going to be out and about on downtown tonight, you think? Maybe?
Yeah, belly up to some bars before.
They're going to run out of beer tonight. What are we talking about? Maybe the hard stuff after today may not even be beer, maybe bourbon.
And Darren, you and I were talking about like who this is best for, who the winner is this week. The SEC tournament, the city of Nashville. What if Kentucky gets bounced too, and they don't have Kentucky or Tennessee?
Well, it happened last year. Vince. I was there on Saturday. No Kentucky, no Tennessee, no Auburn last year on Saturday. So no Florida. Vince, really, really appreciate it. I'll see you a little bit later. And we'll talk. We'll do this again on Monday. See what the reaction's like.
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
Vince Ferrara, 99.1 The Sports Animal. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. We're late, but we wanted to get that raw reaction after today's stunning loss to Mississippi State. More of the McFarland Show next.
The Locksmith Company, our full-service locksmithing expert, is reminding listeners that every 2 seconds someone in the U.S. needs blood. Giving equals living, so please consider donating blood today. This message is brought to you by the Locksmith Company, a proud veteran employer for all your residential, commercial, or automotive locksmithing needs. Call today for a free estimate or 24/7 emergency service at 931-801-5427, 931-801-5427. And also visit the lsco.com. The Locksmith Company is looking forward to seeing you.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up, and if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Attention business owners. WNSR has some exciting opportunities for your business to thrive in the dynamic world of sports radio advertising. As the proud home of some of your favorite sports teams like the Atlanta Braves, Memphis Grizzlies, and more, we understand the power of sports in bringing people together and creating a passionate community. We believe that your business can become an integral part of this experience, reaching a diverse and engaged audience. Contact the WNSR sales team for an opportunity to discuss how Nashville's sports radio can elevate your brand to new heights. Whether you're interested in a specific sponsorship package or would like a customized solution, we are here to meet your advertising needs. Call 615-844-1039, 615-844-1039, or email saleswnsr@gmail.com. That's saleswnsr@gmail.com.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
It's a Bill King Show.
This Nick Saban topic is so interesting. I was thinking about the future. The new teams that the SEC and the B1G are bringing in and the Big 12. The 12-team playoff. The lawlessness, the constant change, but now we enter the next playing portion without Nick Saban.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Whew! Been a spirited show today. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Darren and Justin here with you in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. We got a lot of storms here overnight. If you didn't sleep well like me, man, that thunder was legit.
Oh yeah.
The lightning and the thunder. In fact, it was so bad for me. I saw you come on at 4 o'clock. So you guys come on at 4 in the morning because I was up. It was
really shaking
bad.
down your way too because one of the rougher spots it actually hit was down the Winchester, Tennessee area, Mount Eagle, Belvedere, down that direction. So not too far from, if you look at it, not that far from Smyrna and Laverne,
shaking the house.
That the brunt of that storm really hit hard there. South Pittsburgh, Mount Eagle, in that area. So far, not any severe damage, but the loudest part of the storm was certainly down there in that direction. Franklin, Coffee, Rutherford County.
Then there was a storm from Starkville, Mississippi that made its way over to Bridgestone Arena.
Yes.
To kick off today.
This one was indoors.
And it was indoors, and the Bulldogs took it to Tennessee. We've talked a lot today about it. They won by 17, so the Vols are out. Currently, Auburn leading 40-25, so starting to pull away from South Carolina late first half. There's also some news and notes on the Titans that Ian Rappaport and others have put out there. I know Jim Wyatt from Tennessee Titans.com has put some stuff out. He was right there, probably put it out, I guess, technically first.
Yeah.
But let's start with what we knew was going to happen. Here's what I thought was going to happen.
Okay.
I think there's language in his contract that they would have saved more money, as in millions, if they would have done it after June 1st. But instead, they tried to do it, or they went on and did it now when it comes to releasing their left tackle, and it's going to cost them some serious dead cap.
Yeah, $10.7 million. We're talking about Andre Dillard. Andre Dillard, of course, brought over from the Philadelphia Eagles last year, signed a 3-year deal worth around $30 million with the Titans last year to be their new left tackle. It did not work out, to say the least. And the Titans have now released him, according to Jim Wyatt. And Ian Rappaport is the one that is reporting that it's going to cost them about $10.7 million against the cap. Now, the Titans had $75 million to spend entering free agency. So I'm sure the mathematicians and working the algebra equations have all figured out exactly what needed to be done in order to, sign Calvin Ridley and sign some of the other players that they've signed and having to release Andre Dillard with the dead money. But for me, beyond the money and everything else, this is just a further indication of where they're going with number 7 or wherever they end up in the first round. If they trade down or whatever, they're going to draft an offensive tackle.
I think they are. I've been saying it. I felt pretty strongly. Back when you were out, I was saying that whole week, like they're going to draft a left tackle.
Yeah.
They just are. Especially now with the Cushenberry.
Yeah.
And you got Skoronski. Why not go on and try and solidify your entire left side of your line with your second-year quarterback?
The Calvin Ridley signing makes the other position, which is wide receiver, which is to me the only other thing, and it's not even to me, is what they said. I will give them
Brian
this.
Callahan said it's a loaded wide receiver draft.
Brian Callahan and Rand Carthen have been very upfront about what their plans are. They have said, we're looking at offensive tackles and wide receivers. That's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
So, on record on the microphone. So
they've also said the wide receiver position is very rich in talent.
Yes.
Which means they're not all going to the first round.
No.
Which means they'll be there in the second round. And I know right now they don't have a third round.
That means fourth round or wherever they get them.
You could certainly address it with a high second round pick.
And if they're talking about it's really deep, Darren, they may be talking about undrafted free agents type of guy. The Titans had one undrafted free agent wide receiver make this team last year.
Well, you don't have to. Doesn't mean that you can't. You're going to do that anyway.
Sure.
So, I'm sure they're going to bring in wide receivers undrafted.
Sure.
Who was the undrafted guy last year?
Kyrus Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Who made the team from Georgia.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is signing Calvin Ridley now gives you your 3 starting receivers, essentially. And it makes drafting a receiver in round 1 less of a need now. No matter who's there, it makes it less of a need now. So now they can really focus in on the offensive tackle, which is exactly what I think they're going to do. The other thing I want to hit on very quickly, which we haven't had a lot of time to talk about this, is the fact that there's a lot of chatter about them overpaying for Calvin Ridley. And I will admit, $50 million guaranteed is a lot for Calvin Ridley. But I'm just asking the question, what are you saving the money for? Like, what you saving the money for what?
Rainy day.
We got a rainy day fund going on with the Titans. So they've already signed Big Jeff to a long-term deal.
Mm-hmm.
Harold Landry's already signed to a long-term deal. You got the other big guns off the book. Kevin Byard's off the book. Derrick Henry's off the book. Ryan Tannehill's off the books. So what are they saving money for exactly, if not this? If not trying to
off the books.
Denico Autry's off the books.
Yeah.
And now Andre Dillard is off the books. What are they saving money for what? So did they overpay for Calvin Ridley? Maybe a little bit. But, in all honesty, why not? You've gotten him away from a division rival. You feel like you've solidified a position of need. This is something you're not going to have to draft for now.
What was the guaranteed money?
$50 million.
There you go. Then this is the way you have to look at NFL contracts. It's a $50 million deal because I'm sure they have outs on the back end.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, so even if it is a 2 year,
2 years,
2 year 50, okay, that's $25 million a year. That's even more.
Yeah.
But okay, it's a number one receiver. So it's $50 million.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to pay for a number one receiver. That position has gone up in value.
Oh, absolutely.
Safeties and running backs have gone down.
Yeah.
Wide receivers have exploded.
By the way, last thing. Anybody who's saying, well, they could have had A.J. Brown at the same. Stop!
Yeah.
Stop! You please don't come at me with that. You know there was a completely different general manager who did that. Yeah. So please don't bring that. Well, they should have just signed A.J. Brown if they were going to do that. Who should have done that? Who? Who? The guy who should have done that has been fired.
I know.
So please stop bringing that. Just stop that. Stop. That's silly.
I saw the same thing you did, and we know where it came from, and that's not. And they're not going to stop. Let's go to Mike on the phone line. Mike, what's up?
Hey, back to the Tennessee game real quick. That Vescovy, he picked the wrong sport. He should be a soccer player with all that flopping he does.
Wow.
I mean, that was 3 obvious rocky flops, and he got the call.
Well, a lot of his shots were flops too.
Yellow card, red card.
Hey, couple names to throw. The best point guard for Vanderbilt, and Mannion was good. I'll give him that. But the best, I think, 30 years ago, he was point guard, shooting guard. He was second-team All-American, transferred from Duke.
Yeah. Yep.
That was Billy McCaffrey.
Yeah, but McCaffrey's going to be. I don't know if was he true. Like to your point, was he truly a point guard? I guess maybe. Yeah.
He was listed. He was listed at both. But anyway, a couple of candidates for the job. Just take a ride down.
Barry Goheen wasn't too bad either, Mike.
He was not at all. A couple of coaches down. If you want at Sanford, who won 29 games this year.
He's been brought up.
I believe he came straight from high school, and then Kennedy at UAB. I mean, he's been pretty solid. I've looked up his numbers. He's won 360 games.
Yeah, like Vanderbilt. They're not hiring Andy Kennedy, man. You know that.
Well, I would take him over what we just had, the last two of them.
Andy Kennedy's recruits are not getting into Vanderbilt, Mike. You know that.
Well, I would even give Will Wade a chance over the last 2 weeks.
Well, they're going to have to pony up. They're going to have to pony up.
Yeah.
You have to pay those
players. Not going to cost
players.
that much. I think they go after maybe the one from Indiana State or even Chris Mack. I don't know the whole story behind Chris Mack.
His daughter plays volleyball, Vandy. That's all I know.
Right, but he was let go at Louisville. I don't. There was something behind it, some rules violations or something. I never have heard the whole story, but yeah, he would. I would definitely take him here.
Well, doing that certainly worked out for Louisville.
Well, thank goodness we got baseball to look forward to. I'm heading over to the Hawk tonight.
Oh yeah, conference play.
Playing those Tigers. There's a lot of Auburn fans in town. Auburn's played here like 10 times between football, basketball, and baseball the past 2 years.
Well, the good news for you being at the baseball game is they'll probably be distracted tonight because when they win this game, they're going to be out downtown. They're not coming to the Hawk.
All right, guys, anchor down.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
They're going to be in a good mood from what looks like them cruising to victory today. They're in control.
Why is he throwing darts at UT? His coach is going to.
You know why? Stop!
Really?
Don't ask questions like that.
Really?
You know why?
And you throw darts at Vandy, so
all
you don't have any room to
Please
talk.
stop! Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Turn your mic off.
Don't do
No,
that.
turn it off.
Don't do that.
Turn it off.
Don't do that.
You don't get to come on and do that.
You know the answer to that.
Okay.
You throw darts at Vandy all the time.
I will say one thing. It seems like today is a blowout day for teams because South Carolina's getting blown out too.
I know. I thought these were going to be two good games, and they have.
And I'm looking at the score at MTSU. They getting blown up by Western Kentucky.
I know.
Wow.
I know. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. More of the McFarland Show here on WNSR.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Sky Rizzy, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Sky Rizzy is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Sky Rizzy, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Sky Rizzy, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizzy.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZY to learn more.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
And now, Comstock & Sons Construction is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Please visit DAV.org and consider donating to the disabled U.S. veterans who need our help. This message is brought to you by Comstock & Sons Construction. For all your residential remodeling needs, give the pros a call today and ask about their military and senior discounts. 931-703-5623. 931-703-5623. That's Comstock & Sons Construction. They're professionals who care.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
You have your franchise quarterback going into his second year who could use all the help he can get, whether it's system and maybe a veteran guy who's been there, done it, in that room that can help bring him along. I think it's time for the Titans to bring in another Neil O'Donnell, Kerry Collins, Matt Hasselbeck type.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
The McFarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
You know, Adam called us yesterday and told us about the stuff that was out there about Mason Rudolph trying to compete with Will Levis. Well, he sent me this stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
After the show. And then I'm like, oh, I get it.
It's from an article, right?
Yeah,
article.
but you know where it was coming from?
Go for it. I
no,
don't.
where do you think it was coming from? That approach. Just think about that mindset. Mason Rudolph's going to the Titans to compete for a starting job.
Does it have a name that has something to do with the alphabet?
Well, I'm just saying the story originated. You know where it was originated from? Pittsburgh.
From Pittsburgh.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So that now it makes sense. Like, okay, so some people in some media in Pittsburgh are saying that. Well, you know, they obviously, you know, probably they know Mason Rudolph and they're, you know, they've been following him the last several years. But like when that was said yesterday, we were both like, who is saying Mason Rudolph is coming here to compete with Will Levis? I'm just telling you the answer is people in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
It's not Titans fans.
People.
Or at least that's not what he sent me.
People in Pittsburgh or actual journalists, media folks?
It was a TV station's website.
A TV station's website. I need to investigate. But okay.
Yeah.
But thank you for that. I'll take a closer look at that at some point. Because, you know, people just say things.
Yeah.
You know, they don't
Look,
they don't know.
If Will Levis loses out to Mason Rudolph, then they're going to be drafting a quarterback again. Like they don't have their guy.
Absolutely.
They don't have their franchise quarterback.
In year 2?
Yeah.
In year 2.
If he's not
doing what the Steelers did today.
If Mason Rudolph comes in here and takes his job, then they don't have their guy. They got to go draft a quarterback again.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that's going to be the case.
I don't believe that's going to be the case either. You know, it's
Do I think Mason Rudolph is coming here with the mindset of taking Will Levis' job? Sure.
That's what he should be doing.
That's his right. That's his job. I mean, he's a confident guy. I'm sure he believes he should be a starter in the league and can't understand why he doesn't get a true crack at being a starter in this league. By the way, Kenny Pickett today was traded from the Steelers to the Eagles.
Saw that.
Stays in state. Trades, changes conferences, goes from Pittsburgh to Philly. Interesting.
That is very interesting.
By the way,
actually.
the 2022 quarterback class, Justin, not good. Not good.
So it's just not good.
Oh,
Not good at
it's
all.
bad. I was looking at it today. I was like, goodness.
Okay. I'm sorry. I found the article, and I'm slightly distracted here while reading through this. And you're right. It is from a legitimate, very legitimate publication. As a matter of fact, it's hard to get more legitimate than this publication is. Who said this? It's pretty vague, but, there it is right there. Rudolph joins the Titan squad that was led by rookie quarterback Will Levis last season. Malik Willis, a third-round pick in the 2022 draft, is also in the QB depth chart. Rudolph will reportedly compete for the backup job, is what it says. So maybe this is not the right thing, because it says nothing about competing with Will Levis for the starting job. It just says he's expected to compete for the backup job, which would be accurate.
Do you know who the only quarterback drafted in the 2022 draft is a starter in the NFL currently?
Oh, let's see. The 2022 NFL draft, the year before this one. So who would have gone in that draft that would be the starter right now? Oh, doggone it. Tell me, it's good because it's going to take me a second to come up with it.
Well, he was playing in the last game of the season this year.
So Brock Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant.
That's him, huh?
The last pick in the draft.
How many quarterbacks win the first? Because I haven't looked at it.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder were the only 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, I was going to say,
so
I don't remember a whole lot.
It clearly wasn't a great. Like,
it wasn't
they
a rich
knew
draft
it wasn't
with quarterback.
Right. But that was the draft class. Malik Willis went in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and there's more. They're the only quarterback.
Yeah.
That is a starter in the league in 2022. This is 2 drafts ago.
2 years ago.
The only quarterback that's a starter out of that draft class that was a quarterback is Brock Purdy. That's it. The last pick in the draft, the entire draft, the last pick.
And by the way, the Steelers, who traded to get they did well to get a 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
They got a 3rd round pick out of the Eagles.
I know.
And 2 7th-round picks.
I know.
They did magic.
Exceptional.
To get a 3rd round pick for Kenny Pickett.
Are you sure that's right? Like, I feel like that's not even right. That's not even correct.
To a team that already has a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
What do the Eagles need with Kenny Pickett?
I don't know. Great question. All right, we'll come back, put a bow on this week and this show. We'll do that next year on WNSR. Buyandtow.com. Get cash for junk cars. Do you have a vehicle that's become a problem? You can get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. They'll buy your vehicle no matter the condition, in your driveway, at your mechanic shop, or even on the side of the road. You can call them at 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. Get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. 615-480-6473, buyandtow.com. That's buyandtow.com.
A friend of mine just bought a new house for the first time. A new house. I mean, my wife and I'd love to own a house. So I asked him how he did it. And he smiled and he said he went to the knowledge tree. He had this happy look on his face. So I told him to tell me more. And he said, John, the lack of knowledge will keep you poor. Then he handed me a brochure. It was from Knowledge Tree Mortgage. Now I understood. And after one phone call, I understood even more. Knowledge Tree Mortgage specializes in first-time home buyers. Folks like me who get the runaround from banks, and he got us pre-qualified. Knowledge Tree Mortgage got us our mortgage. And tomorrow, my wife and I are going to become first-time home buyers. Here's the number, 859-9599. 859-9599. Money doesn't grow on trees. Knowledge does. Knowledge Tree Mortgage, 859-9599. 859-9599.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
Hi, I'm Jeff Fisher. Guess what? The Cats are back. The Nashville Cats will be returning to the Municipal Auditorium on April 27th in the season opener against the Minnesota Myth. There will be 5 total games played at Municipal Auditorium, with one additional game played up in Clarksville at F&M Bank Arena on Armed Forces Day on Saturday, May 18th. For player or dance team tryouts or tickets, log on to thenashvillecats.com.
It's JB and the General.
Really, I'd say if a move isn't made within the next 48 hours after the season's conclusion, to me, that's your answer.
Yeah, I agree. If this is not immediate, because it shouldn't have to be anything Candace has to think about. You know, she should be all in one way or the other. He's coming back or he's gone. Like, that decision should already be made. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Weekdays 9 to 11, live on WNSR.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
All Auburn. They lead South Carolina by 20 as they begin the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like it's going to be Auburn and Mississippi State tomorrow to kick off the action at the SEC tournament at Bridgestone Arena. So let's go over the news and notes for sports in this area and in the state before we get out of here for the weekend. So you've got Auburn in control. So like I said, it's probably going to be Auburn and Mississippi State tomorrow to kick off the Saturday action. Tonight, it's Kentucky versus Texas A&M and Florida versus Alabama. So the winners will play each other tomorrow as well. So we'll see how that all plays out. Then you heard Mike call in earlier. Vanderbilt kicks off SEC play in baseball over at the Hawk.
Yes.
Starting tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, they host Auburn. So the Tigers are in town to take on Vanderbilt in baseball. As we know, we talked to Tim Corbin earlier in the week. They have now won 10 straight baseball games.
Wow. Impressive.
And unfortunately, I was at their last loss.
Okay.
Home against Gonzaga.
That means you're not allowed back.
Well, I did say that to Tim, and he said, no, you're always welcome. But I think you should just be nice. Yeah.
He was being nice.
Tennessee is down in Tuscaloosa. So the Vols are taking on Alabama to begin their SEC play. So they've been at home a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, they have barely been away to start off this season.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama. You've got the Predators, obviously on the road since Bridgestone Arena is being occupied. They're in Seattle. 13-game point streak right now. Can they make it 14? They play the Kraken late tomorrow night. Nashville SC at home.
Against Charlotte.
On Saturday.
Yeah, 7:30.
At Geodis.
Tomorrow night. Yeah.
So it is a loaded sports weekend.
Certainly is.
And then Monday, by the way, remember the brackets come out Sunday night?
Brackets come out.
So we'll be able to discuss what the tournament looks like, who's in, who's out. So Monday will be a fantastic show and to react to everything that's happened that we just laid out there for
whatever moves the Titans continue to make.
Yeah.
If they do any more.
True.
They've been very busy.
All right. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend. We want you back with us safe and sound starting at 2 o'clock on Monday. Bill Keene will get things started at 6 a.m., followed by JB and the General, 9 to 11, and then us at 2. We'll see you then.